For enteric problems, firstly, they have a direct effect. So PED, E. coli, ileitis, they all affect the intestine. And the intestines are the ones that intake of nutrients, so absorption of energy, vitamins, amino acids, all happens there. So any disease in the intestine will have a much more direct economic impact. So what are we looking for? Here's a nice pig farmer in Thailand. He got dressed up to meet me, obviously. So what's this pig farmer in Thailand looking for? He's looking for low levels of nursery loss, less than 5%. He's looking for these kinds of average daily weight gains. He's looking for finishing losses below 5%, weight gains, hopefully somewhere up towards a kilogram a day, and feed costs. These are the kind of feed costs that he's looking for. The finishing losses depend not only on enteric problems, of course, but also on disease control, respiratory disease, PRRS, and all these other things naturally have a big economic impact. But as I said, enteric problems will have the much more direct impact. And why is that? We know that feed costs, if we look at the cost of a pig, feed costs are 70% of 70% this is just an example. It can be anywhere between 60% or 80%, depending on the cost of feed. It's a variable cost. V means variable. And what's the cost of feed determined by? Feed cost is determined by how much a kilogram of feed is, but also how much feed each pig consumes. So how much feed do pigs eat? It depends on the feed conversion rate, how many kilograms of feed it takes to produce a kilogram of pig, and also the number of days that the pig sits around in the farm. So the average daily weight gain. So this is why we focus on feed conversion and average daily gain. This is the same information, just in a different chart, just a nice pie chart to indicate the major impact of feed costs on producing a pig. And we can look at all the other costs, the cost of vaccines and finance and building sheds, but the main cost is always the feed costs. Now, what feed do pigs eat? Pigs generally eat, of course, all the pig feed all looks the same. There is a big difference around globally in feed. The Americans, North and South America, have a very big advantage over us here in Asia. They have very cheap corn, very cheap soybean. In Europe, there tends to be more of a mixed set of feeds, wheat and barley, and much more use of byproducts. Same here in Asia. We have a lot of farmers like to use lots of different ingredients, rice and other byproducts, milk powders. So it's important that we understand the components of the pig feed. Farmers always have a very big focus on pig feed, what's in the feed for the pigs. So if we can make this a bit more simple. If we have a problem, if we look at the average pig grows from 5 kilograms to 105 kilograms, the average daily feed conversion rate should be 2.5, thereabouts, over the lifetime of a pig. So if you work that out, that's 4 pigs per tonne of feed. Now, any increase in feed conversion will have an immediate impact and will only lead to less than 4, let's say 3 pigs per tonne of feed. So that tonne of feed that you purchased for a very high price instead of producing 4 pigs, will only produce 3 pigs. And again, here's the same information in a more expanded form, in a table form. So we have a comparison there between normal pigs and Lawsonia pigs, a different feed conversion. So this is the impact of feed conversion, those enteric problems on feed efficiency, number of pigs marketed, and the annual feed costs. So if you work that out in terms of, as an example, of US 300 US a tonne of feed, then you're spending an extra $15,000 US on pig feed for every 1,000 pigs. It's not only the feed costs, you've got the average daily gain costs. So if the pigs are growing slowly, if we have those small pigs, then pigs stay longer on the farm. So, and if in these bigger farms, this has an extra cost in terms of trying to keep all the pigs on the farm. We have groups of small pigs, groups of medium size and groups of larger pigs all on the same farm. So it creates problems with trying to get the correct numbers of pigs to the market, and difficult to get the high value of a large size carcass with all the different components. So globally, this means that the farms look for even quality pigs all the same. So what happens if they don't? If we have an enteric problem, and in Europe there are penalties if we have, we're looking to market pigs between 100 kilograms and 110 kilograms with a back fat measurements of somewhere between 10 and 12 millimetres. Now there's penalties. If the pig is too small, then there's a penalty, and if there's pigs are too big, there's also a penalty. So there's contract penalties. And in Europe, that was in Europe. In America, it's the same thing. They have, there's a penalty for a variation in the size of pigs. So if we go below the minimum required size or above it, and again, there's a penalty. So farmers are, in these situations, farmers are looking for the most number of pigs within that medium range, within that exact range. And the range, in this particular example, the range is not a 10 kilogram range, it's a 5 kilogram range. So a very narrow range of what an ideal pig looks like. In this example, he's only got 17% of pigs in that ideal range. Another factor in carcasses, penalties in global carcasses, is the types of different cuts. And we know that a pig slaughter is it's the opposite of making a car. We're disassembling the car, we're putting it all into small bits. And some bits have more value than others. The hams, the loins, the shoulders and the bellies. At the moment, pig bellies are very valuable. So with the more even groups of carcasses, we can produce more pig bellies. So the value back to the farmer, again, is much higher with a group of high quality pigs without variation. The number of pigs I mentioned has been cut a lot, and this again has an impact on price. We all know the cycle of pigs. The more pigs we have, then the price goes down. The fewer pigs we have, then the price goes up. And this is an example of in Thailand, where you can see the chart on the price in the orange line compared to the pig population, and you can see the inverse relationship there. So in the middle we have a very low population of pigs and the price goes up, and the opposite towards the end there with a very high population of pigs and the price goes down. And so at the moment, with African swine fever and very few pigs, we would expect that the price is increasing. And the same, this is a chart from the web. We have a lot of information now. We can all go online and look at the price of pigs. So you can, even in China, we can do the same thing, compare the population and the price. So in summary, as an introduction, many farms have ileitis. 95% of farms have ileitis. Subclinical ileitis is a very important disease, very common. We would expect that something like 30% of farms are affected at any time, and in farms that are affected, that we would expect something like 30% of those pigs on the farm. So as a kind of a final summary, we can make a guess on the exact economic cost of ileitis on a farm in Europe, and I showed the different factors behind that. But as a summary, we would expect that with 5,000 pigs per group, that we would have a cost of that amount there, 37,000 euros per year. So it's a common disease worldwide, has a very distinctive pathology, and is a major economic disease.